3, we head to Saudi Arabia and the new street circuit in Jeddah. We have raced here once before towards the end of last season, and it was such a good race we thought, hey, why not throw it back in at the beginning of season 5. It was such a good race. Yeah, it had everything. Had drama, good clean racing, late safety cars, and everything else in between. So we are looking at a short qualifying session, so 18 minutes, and a 50% race, so 25 laps. Full grid. Reserve drivers coming in, making their debut are Eric Holmes, Tiger NASCAR, and then we have usual reserve drivers in Jeddah, Henry, and Mr. Woot alongside. I think there is another reserve here somewhere. I'm not sure who it is. I can't remember. No, that's it. Five reserves. Yes, and the rest drivers are full-timers. So who's the first driver out on track? I think that is Lasser. Yes, Lasser's first driver out on track. So we will do a full flying lap on board with him when he gets round the track. I don't know the corner numbers. There are way too many corner numbers to even remember, to be fair. Yeah, way too many to even think of, so I'm not going to be going through the corner numbers because I just cannot be bothered. B16 is joining us in the YouTube chat. He's saying come on to his good friend Red Dog. He wants you to show him some magic tonight, Red Dog. Yeah, pull out the Aston Martin magic. Red Dog's teammate Honesy has a one-shot qualifying penalty today, so watch out for that. As you can see, all those coloured dots on track. We currently have 18 cars out on track. It's going to be very busy, fast, frenetic, and a lot of drivers trying to fight for certain parts of space on the track. It's very tight, twisty. Message has gone out in the Discord for everyone to be wary, but unfortunately blocking is gonna it will happen at some point. So Lasser comes round towards the final corner. This is a corner here, that's why I'm not going to do corner numbers because there is way too many. It's a kink. And let's ride on board with his cockpit through the lap as he comes around the final corner, gets the power down, uses all the track on the outside. He's going to stay close to the inside and then let the car naturally drift out to the outside, and we're going to hit the heavy braking zone into turn 1, the only corner number I'm going to name. So he kisses that inside curve, flows it round and touches the outside curve there, and we're flowing. We've got to watch out for track limits and invalidated laps in qualifying. It's going to be very easy to do so, and just about manages to keep it within the limits there, Lasser does. You've got a hard left here, hard right. Flow it and feel your car around here. You don't want to get too many. You're going to get quite a few snaps of oversteer through there, and the curb is quite brutal on the outside, so just watch out for that as we hit the inside, the long flowing corner that turns back on yourself. Watch that outside wall, just kisses it. You probably get a piece of paper in between that gap there. The inside curb is pretty brutal here, so you don't want to take too much of it, take too many liberties with it, and that looks pretty neat so far from Lasser for a first out lap. Oh, sorry, first timed lap. Most drivers use this as a banker, get a decent lap in, don't push the car too much, but it seems pretty good so far. As we flow through here, he is still valid there. That's interesting. I would have thought that would have flicked up a invalidated lap. It did take quite a bit of inside curb, but it's all good. It's all good. We are on strict corner cutting, so that's fine. As we hit the final corner, we come round and we're going to power it down to the line, and we're going to have a benchmark time set as a 1:27.2. I believe that was Eric coming into the pits. There's a spinner there. Who was that? I think that was Ferrari of Exotic who was spinning around. Got both Mercedes coming across the line. Righty Boy first, and Cool Beans is second. Pretty close in times between those two. And then Indian Jesus comes in and splits the Mercedes with a 28.7. Dace has put himself into P3 with a 28.1, and Cornet's gone a little bit faster. So at the minute, Lasser has got a pretty healthy gap of about 9/10 between everybody. Viet has attempted the medium start on the tyre, so he'll be looking, probably he'll have to improve on that time quite a bit. Delta Setter 130.017. Stein is in the pits. Eric Home is in the pits. Will is coming into the pits. Mark of Kenya, Red Dog. Red Dog is just about to leave the pits. Holmesy is on an out lap. Henry is also on... No, Henry is on a flying lap. Holmesy's on a flying lap, but he is invalid. So Henry goes third on a medium tyre with a 27.9. So that's a pretty good time. A new reserve driver. Time, he wasn't lighting up the timing sheets in the practice session, but obviously sandbagging, because that's a pretty good banker time there from Tiger NASCAR 1, 27.886. So Holmesy is still on an invalidated lap. Red Dog is on an out lap. We'll follow Red Dog's lap around in a little bit. Exotic is on a flying lap, I believe. No, he's had to back out of it there. That's a pretty messy part of the track there. Most drivers are going to be coming back in the pits, I would assume, out of these ones. So yeah, we'll stay on with... So Holmesy is now coming into the pit lane. May well have messed up his... yeah, he's messed up his qualifying, basically. He's going to start at the back of the grid. He's got a one shot. He's left the pits. He cannot leave it again. So yeah, he has now retired. He didn't even try and set a time. He wants that medium tyre start. So the track looks like it's calming down a bit. The final corner has a bit of a traffic jam going on. Who's this? Tiger NASCAR staying out of the way of Red Dog as he comes round the final corner and powers himself down to turn 1. So teammate Holmesy out of the session already. Red Dog, the pressure is all on you to get a good qualifying session for Aston Martin as he turns into turn 1, lets the car drift and flow around into turn 1. A little bit power hungry with the power there. Should have needed to stay off the throttle a little bit more than what he did. He just let the car drift out wide and gave a bit of understeer as he came through the corner. And this is a very hard and tricky part of the track. He is fighting the car, and unfortunately he does invalidate through the I wouldn't even call them S's. It's a series of silly spray, isn't it? It just keeps, all the corners just keep coming. Very hard to get the track nailed, especially on your first flying lap. So Red Dog is invalidated and he will have to be going again. Will and Stein haven't managed to put a lap together just yet. They are coming. So Stein is just about to start his flyer as he powers down into turn 1. Lets the car into there, drops to 2, but short shift straight up to 3 and into 4th. And let's watch him through these S's or silly strings section. Takes a lot of inside there, but still valid. Flows it round, keeps the car hooked up on the left hand side. Little break through that one, and then we are on the you can power down, straighten up the steering wheel as we head down to the corner that comes back on yourself. Throws the car in there, and he how close is he going to get? Not as close as Lasser did earlier. Lasser was pretty much kissing that outside wall there. Left a bit on the table, probably a little bit more for him to gain, but Lasser is still on provisional pole, 6/10 ahead of anyone. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I believe that is over in Alfa Romeo. As Stein's coming through to end. No, we've already ended sector 2. I've got to work out my reference points again. And we head down towards the final corner. Where's Will? Will is a few corners behind Stein. I say a few, probably about 20 with the amount of corners this track has, but he is only a few, yeah, not too much further down the road, so we'll jump on board with Will shortly. Stein comes around the final corner, he's powered towards the line, he's out of his ERS, and he goes second with a 27.6. The Lasser still has a 4/10 advantage. Here comes Will into the final corner. Short shifts into 4th to 5th. DRS is going to be opened up. Again, he's going to take a tight line to the left hand side, shortens the track, and he goes into P11 with a 29.2. So room for improvement there from Will, I believe. Red Dog is coming up to the final corner. This one will be a valid lap, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes on the final corner, which he's not. He nails that, and he comes down, see where his car position is. Yeah, it looks like he's going to stick it in the middle, actually. And he goes into P15 with a 1:30.080. So So Exotic seems to be struggling with track limits right now. Eric is on an out lap, hasn't set a time just yet. Mark of Kenya's in the pits, he's doing his typical Mark of Kenya things. Delta is 9.5 seconds off and he is invalidated, so he won't follow him. Righty Boy has just set a 29.3, so he has improved by about half a second there, so that's a pretty good improvement there from Righty. Teammate in Cool Beans is living life on the edge through this sector. Look very close to the on the limit there, and he is 10th and a half up pretty much on his first qualifying time, so he is improving all the way. We'll follow what that's going to put him. It will improve his time, but it won't move him up any positions. He needs to find at least 4/10, so he's got more time to find, if he can find it, to shift him up the timing sheets. Henry's looking to go out on a set of soft tyres to try and improve his time, so we'll jump on board with him when he starts his flying lap. I think he's just started it now, so yeah, we'll jump on with him. Let's just stick the Cool Beans through here. I didn't catch what his middle sector time was. He's 6/10 up, there we go, 6/10 up, so this is going to move him well up into P5 possibly, if not P4. So we're looking at a second row for Cool Beans here, if he can keep it together and no one else improves. Comes down towards the line and he is going to set a 1 minute 27.7. He went 7.5 tenths faster. So yeah, he's in third place there, second row, well into this. And look at Mr. Woot. Mr. Woot with a 27.8. Where's he been hiding this Jeddah pace? Mr. Woot, reserve driver in the McLaren today, on a 27.8. So yeah, watch out for Mr. Woot in the race. He does like a street track. Baku was an amazing lap for him a couple of games ago in the F1 series. He was always very good at Baku, likes a tight street circuit. I think that's going to be, wow, okay, I don't know how that wasn't invalidated from Henry there. Very close to the legal limit, I believe. Track limits on this game are a bit silly. Possibly should have been invalidated that lap, but we carry on, and he powers down to the line, and it is going to be a 1:26.8, so a full second faster than his, a provisional time, and we have a new provisional pole sitter by about 4/10 to Lasser. So Corbyn's just coming in on his in lap. Dace is nailing this. Looks like he's on the, I don't know, it looks like he's backed off there. He's not, yeah, he's not on the limit, Dace, anymore, so he's backed off of his lap. Righty Boy is behind his teammate Cool Beans. Bacon, let's have a check out Bacon. What's he doing? Eric's just set a 1:29.721. Don't know if he's going to be going again. ERS looks quite low. He might be lining up for another one. Let's check his first sector time. See if he's going for it as he comes round into these. Invalidates it, unfortunately, so we'll jump off board of him. Red Dog currently in P17. Going out again for another out lap. We have 5 minutes left of this session. Yerdy had an amazing qualifying session in NRL last night and just invalidates his lap there, which is what he was unfortunately doing last night in China. He made a few mistakes in qualifying and he could have been placed at least 5 positions higher than his qualifying position last night. So yeah, Gietti's got some pace this weekend in both leagues, so we'll watch out for that. Bacon is coming up towards the end of the first sector through the silly string S's. That's their nickname from me now, as he hard left. Red Bull sounds very, very throaty, very grunty as he comes through, ends the first sector, and he is 3 and a bit tenths up on his best time. This is going to move him possibly up to about P5, P6 right now, as Mr. Wooch dropped to P5. Stein's gone into P3. Corbyn's still on the second row in P4, and Tiger NASCAR debutant in P6 in the Haas, as Bacon is level with his teammate right now in Indian Jesus. 3/10 separating the Red Bull team. He sets his own personal best middle sector. There's a lot of liberties being taken with that corner, so I don't think we can what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think we can make too much of a song and dance about that corner, because it appears everyone's found a bit of a line to take through there as Bacon comes round the final corner. He was 3 and a bit tenths up. No, he's backing out. He's backed out. Okay, interesting. Cornet's starting a flying lap. Well, it's coming out of the pits to do an out lap. He will be doing a flying lap shortly. Mr. Woot is on a flying lap, and as I jump on board with him, he is invalidating through that corner. What's happened with Will? Gets a lot of oversteer and unfortunately invalidates his lap through the silly string. Eric's in the pits. Viet's on an out lap. Delta comes across the line to start his flying lap. Let's ride on board with Delta through the first corner. Kisses that apex on the inside. Eric Home has left the session. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him, if he's going to be able to rejoin back. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. So Delta comes through silly string. Nice lines through here so far. Does back off a little bit through that bit, but the most important thing is not to invalidate, to get the lap together. So takes it easy through the S's. All the time can be found towards the middle and the end of the lap. As he brakes hard into the horseshoe. Don't want to take too much of that inside curb. It will throw you out. We haven't had anyone retire just yet from damage. That's a good it's a good omen. I think Henry was the first DNF last season in the in qualifying. He crashed out just at the horseshoe actually. So Delta's going to hit the left, right, fast left, right. Keeps it there. Henry's retired. I think I might have just jinxed it. Have I? Is there a Ferrari that's crashed out? I believe there may. Yeah, there's a Ferrari. Just as I say that, Henry has crashed out, and yeah, he's our first retiree. Interesting. He's not going to be able to try and. I think he will keep his pole position though, because he's got a 10.5 lead over Lasser. Delta improves by a second and moves himself up to P13. Good lap there from Delta. Left a little bit on the table through the silly string. And Cornet is a 10.5 up on his best time, so he's going to be moving up at least 4 positions here. Some drivers are on. Yeah, he gets out of the way nicely for Cornet. As I said, it's going to be very tight. You've got to have eyes in the back of your head here. Obviously, in real life, you have an engineer on the radio with you telling you exactly where every single driver is. Here, you've basically just got to use the track map and your common sense. Cornet, wow, probably takes the most of that line there and still keeps his lap valid. So there's a lot more that you can take with that corner, obviously. Mr. Woot's on an out lap. Cool Beans is got yellow flags all over the circuit right now. I hope we're not glitching out. I think that's just drivers slowing down. As Cornet comes round, what was his, haven't got his middle sector time there, but he goes half a second quicker, moves himself up to P3 with a 27.4. Tiger is invalid, and he don't think he will have enough time to get back round. Stein has just completed his, or is he just starting a lap? Yes, Stein is just starting a lap. He's taken a lot of, wow, okay. Lots of interesting lines being taken, and whether or not it gets invalidated or not appears to be down to the game judging it. Let's just say that. I think the track limits, some tracks, especially the newer ones, are a little bit up in the air. What was Stein's first sector time? I haven't got his first sector time flashing up, but Cornet's currently in P3. Corbins is a 10th up on his, just under a 10th up on his best time. Who will be joining on board? Stein is currently 3 tenths up on his best time. Mr. Woot's finished his qualifying. He's currently down in P7. That's a good qualifying session from him. And Stein takes a lot of that and is now invalidated. So let's jump back on board with Corbins. Corbins goes 3.5 tenths faster, moves himself back up to P2 on the grid. Dace is invalid. Bacon is still valid. He is 3 and a bit tenths up, so he's going to move himself into about P8. At least 2 positions here. Righty is just a bit down, doesn't improve. Will is 2 tenths up, so this is going to see him move probably into P14, leapfrog Delta here. Unless he lost a lot of time in the final corner, he's not going to find too much more time. And Will actually improves by half a second. He must have lost a lot of time in the final sector. Moves himself up to P13. The jumps ahead of Righty Boy. Not quite sure what the race strategy is going to be. I think it's all changes here, there and everywhere. I'm assuming the front drivers will be I say assume. The front drivers in the top 10 will definitely be starting on the soft tyres. Jeddah sneaks in to P10 at the end there, so Jeddah in P10. Everyone below him will be able to choose whatever tyre they want, possibly a hard or a medium to start with. I doubt very much the P10 backwards or P11 downwards will be starting on the softs. Final confirmation. Honesy didn't set a time. Mark of Kenya didn't set a time either. He obviously doesn't want to. He wants to do another last to first battle. As we are now just waiting for everybody to join in. Let's have a quick look at the race director. So it looked like the default for the bottom 11, so 11 downwards, is actually the soft tyre. It's interesting. Looks like some drivers are going to be starting on the softs. No one's changed it just yet, so watch out for that. We'll watch out for what the tyres the drivers are putting on, but it might actually be. No, here we go. The drivers are trying to put on medium tyres. So Red Dog's gone medium, Righty medium, Will medium, Indian Jesus medium. Viet's in the best position here in P11. Fresh tyres, fresh tyre choice. He can jump a few positions at the start with his fresh tyres. Keep an eye on that. Mark of Kenya started towards the back, at the back of the grid in NRL last night, and came up to finish a respectable P9, I think. Strategy worked out well for him. Yeah, so a few more drivers selecting the medium tyres. Exotic now, Delta, and Indian Jesus. So watch out for those. Anyone else makes any last minute changes? I feel like Honesy will probably be choosing a different tyre strategy, because he could have put a soft tyre on and done a fast lap in his first qualifying lap, but decided to put the medium on and decided against it. So we'll see what Honesy does at the last minute. Marco Kenya is looking to start on a soft tyre. We will get the tyre strategies coming up. Oh, who's that? Exotic's changed to a soft at the last minute. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 to 16 starting medium, and everyone else around them on the soft tyres. There we go. So we have the confirmations here, and then we drive off. So it's a one-stop: soft, hard, soft, medium, and you're looking at lap. It says lap 9 or lap 9 for the hard and lap 11 for the medium. So the soft medium is probably the best way to go. Medium soft on the other way. So it is an easy one stop. It doesn't take into account. That does not take into account safety cars. Safety cars is something that is going to be very easy to happen here. It wasn't easy last season when we raced around here. It took quite a while for the first safety car to come, and even then it was I think it was just a small mistake by, I can't remember who the driver was. But as we're doing the formation lap, let's have a quick look at the stand-in. So who is leading the championship? Currently leading the championship is Stein, leading it jointly with Honesy and Dace. So Stein's won a race and Honesy's won a race. Dace hasn't won a race yet, but finished 10th and 15th respectively. Then we've got Cali Rob not racing today on 23, and then it drops to 18 and 18 with Cool Beans and Vengeance. Bacon currently on 13, Lasser on 12, Kenya on 11, And then P10 is Reina Zufal. With regards to constructors, Alfa Romeo do top it with 31, Ferrari on 27, Aston Martin on 26, Tauri on 25, Williams on 20, Mercedes on 20, Red Bull on 13, Haas on 11, McLaren on 6 and Alpine on 6. So not a great start to the season for Alpine. But we'll keep an eye on that as we're going to be coming up towards the final corner. Henry is getting very close to that wall there. Give it a little bang. Shouldn't cause any damage on the formation that, but you never know. You do never know. And now we are going to wait for everybody to rejoin, come round the final corner and start the Jeddah or Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Sound went out then, I didn't show you what was going on. We've got 2 disqualifications in Viet and Indian Jesus, so their tyres are going to be going very cold as they head down, as the rest of the drivers rejoin the grid, which is happening just now. And yeah, they go through there, so let's join in the middle with Yerdy. Watch from Yerdy's as he comes through. Indian just there, very hot cars. We're going to be getting the 5 lights very soon, and we're going to be powering down to turn 1. Very short run down to turn 1, and it's very tight. You will get squeezed, and hopefully won't cause too many issues. A horrible camera angle. It's a little bit better. Try not to jump too far as Lasser gets a horrible start, and the Alpine of Cornet is overtaken him. He's already down to... Let's keep with this angle. Let's watch as they go through. There's 4 wide through turn 1 and turn 2 there. Lots of wheelbang. The McLaren's been spun round. Mr. Woot has been spun round on turn 1. It looks like everyone has made it round without too much incident. Eric home. Not sure what's happened to him. Yeah, not sure what's happened to Eric. Why he's all the way there. Exotic has been spun. He is at the back of the grid. Eric's now left the session. Dace is had a bad start as well. He's down to P18. Mr. Woot, such a good qualifying, and he is now all the way back down to in P17, dropped 10 positions, looking to make a move up the inside into the horseshoe on Jesus, but doesn't make it happen. Mark of Kenya already up 4 positions. Look at Holmesy already up 6 positions up into P14. He's going to look to make a move on Righty Boy. He's got Delta Lima just ahead of him as well as he come through. McLaren of Delta very twitchy through there, and Righty Boy's going to look to make any advantage. He's going to try and go up the inside, which is going to become the outside for the next kink. It goes up the inside again, and is he going to be brave enough on the braking? No, he's not. Holmesy filters in just behind them as well. Holmesy doesn't want to get too frustrated behind these. Will is right on the back of Red Dog. Is he going to be able to make a move into the final corner? No, not quite close enough. But Cornet, look at that, already up to P2. He's got a 1 point. Henry's in the lead, keeps the lead from pole. He's got a 1.2 second advantage over Cornet. Now to 1.4. There's a little wall bang there from Henry. So hopefully, I don't know if he's picked up any damage. Corbins is up to P3, so he's doing a good job, and Tiger NASCAR down in P4 on his debut. Mark of Kenya, what's happened to Holmesy? Holmesy's lost a few positions. Mark of Kenya's gone through. Delta's dropped down to... Sorry, that's Mr. Wu. Delta keeps his P12, so he's doing a good job just there. And the gaps are very close between these two drivers as they go through the dirty air section of the Silly String S's, and then they're going to head down towards the corner that comes back on yourself, so the horseshoe. Any late moves into here, a line of cars. Doesn't look like there's any brave overtaking moves going into there, so that is that. The interval screens have all gone. I've got no timing. Here we go, position change. What have we got? We've got Holmesy's made 6. He's now overtaken Mr. Woot. Yellow flag in sector 3. Who's off? Who is off? Who's spinning around? I can't see. I've got no timing screen. Can't see who's losing time. There was a yellow flag just there, so we'll see about that. Might have been Eric actually, but Cornet. What's happened to Henry? Henry's got no front wing, so yeah, he must have picked up damage. So Henry is now in the pits. Looking to get a new front wing, is it? He's going to have to go onto a hard tyre to possibly go to the end. Yeah, no front wing, so he hit the wall. Cornet takes the lead of the race. And he's got a 7/10 gap to Coolbeans just behind him. Tiger NASCAR looking to get on the podium for his debut. Stein very close behind him though. Henry comes out in P18, I believe. Bacon's just behind him. Dace is right at the back, having a horrible time. Yerdy's up into P7. A bit of a gap between himself and Viet in front and behind, so these two drivers are out on their own. Then we've got the look at that, look at all these cars going side by side through here. Who's going to come out on top? I don't even know who they are. There's an Aston Martin up the inside. Red Willans gets Red Dog. Red Dog gets pushed around. There's a McLaren spinning round. That is the McLaren of Mr. Woot, unfortunately, and Will comes away unscathed. Mark of Kenya through up 10 positions now to P9. Red Dog drops to P10. Delta up to P11. Holmesy in P12. That was, I think, about 12 into 1 there. Was never going to happen. One driver did unfortunately come off second best, and Mr. Wu. Look at all those cars in the background. Let's try and get a better angle there as they come through these final kinks and corners to the final corner. Anyone going to be brave enough to make an inside move? Delta filters in behind Red Dog. So Delta's got Aston Martin ahead, and behind him is Holmesy. Going to be interested in making a move. DRS is open for the drivers within 1 second of each other, and I don't think Holmesy's going to be close enough. Delta looked to make a move on Red Dog there, but thought against it. Holmesy's fuel is running yellow right now, so he's underfueled himself for the race. So he's going to be have to doing some fuel saving or hoping for safety cars. So did Mr. Wu pick any damage up in that? I don't think he did. He didn't pit. So if he has got damage, it is very slight. Lasser's still trying to recover from his horrible start. Stein is still within the gap, 6/10 now. He's made a lot of improvements there to Tiger. And Tiger is... yes, he's got a 6/10 lead to Stein and a 6/10 deficit to Coolbeans. Coolbeans is still staying within 7/10 of Cornet. And what's the ERS? Cornet is really pushing. He's got less than 40%. Coolbeans is just chilling right now. Is 75%. So yeah, Coolbeans is just waiting for any mistake Cornet makes. Let's get some off-board shots here. Watch the cars flowing around the final corner. DRS will open up at that line. And is Coolbeans going to have enough? He's not using his ERS. He's being very sparing with it. We've got a yellow flag, so it looks like a Red Bull going slowly. I'll try and catch up with that in just a second. Was that Indian Jesus? I believe it was. Or was it Impossible Bacon? I think it might have been Impossible Bacon. No, he's Exotic setting it off. Hot tyres. Exotic goes ghosted out. ERT Henry goes through. So both Ferraris at the back of the grid right now in 17th and 18th place. Exotic pits. Delta pits with a new front wing. Indian Jesus puts a new front wing on, and I'm assuming Exotic did as well. 3 drivers with penalties right now. 3 seconds to Eric Home. We've got 11 seconds to Henry and 10 seconds to Impossible Bacon. So I think Viet's had a bit of an off. He's now down into P15. Henry goes through. Do we have wing damage for Viet? He's going very slowly through here. Is he just backing off to let people through, or has he got wing damage? We shall see. Delta comes out the pits in P17. Good start from him, but unfortunately a small mistake has possibly cost him. I've lost the timing screen again. I don't know what the timing gaps are. It's a bit annoying. It's always handy to have that. You just see dots otherwise. You can't see where the real action is. Tyre wise, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers on the medium tyre so far. The rest are all on softs. Holmesy gets ahead of Will on the DRS down to the final corner. Now in real life we had obviously a bit of an issue with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen fighting to get the DRS down the pit straight and coming together down that long straight when the FIA told Max to let Lewis past. No such issues there. And Holmesy's going to comfortably keep P8, and he's gained 12 positions so far, and Mark of Kenya's gained the same amount, I believe. My maths is correct. Eric sets the fastest lap of the race, so he's got some pace. Just a shame that he's had a few issues. Yeah, so 12 places apiece from Mark of Kenya and Holmesy. Coolbeans is getting closer, but not quite close enough still to Cornet. Righty very close behind the back of the last points paying position in Red Dog in P10. So we'll DRS is enabled, but it's not quite a long enough straight or a heavy braking zone to make any advantage of it. Both drivers, I think, are on the medium tyre. Yes, they are. So this line of drivers in 9th, 10th and 11th are all on the mediums. Henry's getting very close to the back of Mr. Woot. Gaining, but not gaining enough. There isn't going to be a DRS straight here, but there is still enough for a slipstream. Righty not close enough to Red Dog, but there will be... And Henry's having to back out there. So let's jump back on with Righty with DRS. Let's see what he does. Exotic picks up a 3-second time penalty. His first one of the race. Righty boy's going round up the inside of Red Dog, takes P10. And Henry does the same on Mr. Wu, goes up the inside, takes P12. Holmesy and Mark of Kenya battling hard into turn 1. Holmesy gets P7, drops Mark of Kenya down to P8. And Yerdy having a very quiet and steady race in P6. He's having a great race so far. We have a yellow flag. It's Henry. Henry's left the session. What's happened to Henry? He's retired in the pit lane. Picked up some damage maybe, I don't know, but Henry has left us. So we've lost our first driver, retirement in the pits, so not a crash on track, so no safety car. Lasser looking, still trying to recover from his... And Coolbeans is very close now to the back of Cornet. Let's see if he can make any kind of move either through here. Oh, a bit twitchy, lots of understeer there from Coolbeans. Right, DRS is open. He's going to start to use some ERS. He's got a lot more. He goes up the inside of Cornet. Easy move there. Cornet had no ERS, or not enough ERS to defend it, but he will go. Will he get DRS on this straight? Yes, Cornet's going to get the DRS. He's going to dump all of his ERS that he had saved up. We're going to see Cornet going up the inside now. Coolbeans is falling back into P2. And this is good news for Stein. Stein is up into P3 now, ahead of Tiger NASCAR. And we are 1, 2 and 3 right now with these three drivers. Cornet, Coolbean, Stein. Tiger keeping pace with the front three. Lost a position to Stein, but he was keeping pace initially. Lasser is getting very friendly with Tiger, and we'll see see if Lasser can do anything about that as we'll watch these. Yerdy's got a 10-second gap behind. Holmesy's getting close to Yerdy, so Yerdy possibly will lose a position shortly to Holmesy, but Yerdy, we know he's a good fighter. There's a lot of fight in that dog, and he will battle that as hard as he possibly can. Coolbeans has unfortunately lost. He's out of the DRS zone now. He's got a bit of work to do to try and catch back up to that. He's got to brake late into this corner to try and get into the DRS, try and close that gap back up. It looks like he just about will. Yeah, gets the DRS here. He has to close up as much as he can and then gain as much as he can down the pit straight. Who is that going around the outside? That is Lasser. Switches from the inside to the outside, back to the inside, but gives up on that position as Tiger was a bit too close there to Stein. Holmesy gets past Yerdy. Does Yerdy take no for an answer? He does, and filters back in behind him in P6. So Holmesy's now going to chasing down Lasser. We will watch that battle with great intensity. So the top five separated by 1.5 seconds, separating the top five. Look at these cars. Ooh, line astern into the silly strings. And then we've got gaps of we've got P6 and P7 close together, P8 in the middle of about a 2-second gap and 5 behind him. We've got Will in P9, Righty, and then we've got Red Dog in P11, Bacon in P12. Mr. Wu unfortunately had a horrible start. Yerdy picks up a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, Mr. Wu got spun around on lap 1, turn 1, and then had another incident a couple of laps later, so he's had he's good recovery so far. Red Dog picks up a 3-second time penalty. Jesus is in P15 as Bacon goes round the outside of Red Dog there. I don't know if those two were battling or not. Red Dog gets very close to that wall, gets a lot of oversteer on the exit as well, and he is in P12. Jinjin Jesus gets a 3-second time penalty. We are going to be seeing some more time penalties filtering in now as the warnings do accumulate up. So what is this battle happening up here? Bit of a DRS train, which is saving Cornet a little bit. Cornet pits, Corbin stays out, and then we have Lasser pitting as well. So with 5 became 3. Is Tiger going to have a go at Stein? No, he filters back in behind. So we've got to watch out for Cornet. Where does Cornet come out? Cornet is going to have the Aston Martin of Honesy, the Williams of Yerdy, the Haas of Mark of Kenya. His teammate will be just behind him in Will, and Will come out behind Lasser as well. Righty boy in P10. So Cornet has got about a 2.2 second gap, so Corbins has got to use as much of his ERS as he possibly can on this lap. Absolutely floor it, set the best in lap he possibly can. I don't think the tyre degradation is too high here, so he won't have too many tyre issues. Overheating, yes, but tyre degradation, no. So all 3 of these drivers have just got to forget about their battle and just set as fast a lap as they possibly can, and hopefully do the overcut on Cornet and on Lasser. Lasser's looking to the undercut, trying to take as many positions as he possibly can. They were so close. 1.5 seconds is all it was, so he doesn't need too much there. What's happened here? Corbins and Stein are going wheel to wheel. They're going to be losing time between these two. Are either of them going to pit? Corbin stays out, Stein goes in, Tiger goes into the pits as well. So Corbin's had to stay out another lap, I believe. I think with the battling they were doing, I'm not sure if he was just in the wrong position or if he was going to be going slightly deeper into the race. I don't think he wanted to pit on that lap. He will have fresher tyres, but I don't think it matters too much. But Corbins is going to have another good in-lap. Where does Cornet come out? Cornet is going to be ahead of Stein. Lasser is ahead of Stein as well. So yeah, Stein filters just in behind Lasser, and so does Tiger NASCAR. So Lasser has done a brilliant undercut there, and he is in a net P2 now from a net P5 in the pit stop phase. Cornet is looking to keep his P1, but he is going to be stuck behind Mark of Kenya through here. He's going to be losing a lot of time. This is brilliant for Corbins here into this corner. Mark of Kenya is fighting hard. Cornet's not going to be liking this, but it is for position. Mark of Kenya does not have to get out of the way. He can fight him as hard as he wants. Mark of Kenya does not have to get out of the way for him. He's not a lap car. He's racing for position. So that's lost Cornet a lot of times. That could be good. That could be good for Corbins. That might just save him. We will see. He'll probably be pitting this lap. He's used a lot of his ERS up on his in-lap. We'll see where he comes out. So that's right on board with... So Lasser's stuck behind Mark of Kenya now. Is there going to be any kind of move, overtaking move here? Lasser's got to get past him quickly. He does. So Mark of Kenya now in between Stein, Tiger NASCAR. So Corbins is in the pits. Just a tyre change. He's good. Cornet's coming down the pit straight. I think Cornet's going to be out ahead of him. There goes Cornet. There they all go. I think Corbins is now coming out. Yeah, he's out behind Tiger NASCAR. So the overcut hasn't worked out for him, and he has now taken P6, a net P5 with Honesy still to pit. So Honesy is in the lead of the race. Mark of Kenya is coming out the pits and drops down to P12. Still to pit is everybody has pit apart from Red Dog and Righty and Will. Yeah, Red Dog, Righty and Will are the only ones who haven't pitted. Impossible Bacon's going to have to pit again. He probably won't be able to go to the end of the race on however many lap-old tyres. They're going to be 17 lap-old softs by the end. Same with Jesus, he'll probably have to pit again. Might just about do it. Delta in P15 with his teammate just behind. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Who is this? It's Eric Home, has finally retired from the race, having a horrible time, disconnects, issues with the lobby, and yeah, he has left the session. Exotic in not having a great race. He needs a safety car at some point. So does Viet. So does Dace. And so does Indian Jesus. Apart from that, P12, there's a bit of a gap. And let's jump back to this battle here as Lasser and goes for the move around the outside of Cornet. And we're going to have Stein up the inside of Cornet. Lasser takes the lead of the race. Cornet and Stein going wheel to wheel. Cornet has the inside. Sorry, Cornet has the outside. Stein has the inside. Stein's going to have the inside for this corner. Cornet's going to have to back out at some point. He doesn't. He takes the... yeah, he gets a 3-second time penalty for his troubles there. Probably should have backed out his Dutch driver. Says he doesn't really like Max Verstappen. But took the Max Verstappen line through there. He probably should be... Stein's really screaming at race control to give him that position back because he overtook off the racetrack. And Stein's going round the outside, around the horseshoe, and he's going to have the power. They're wheel to wheel, and Cornet filters in behind Stein. The slipstream is unreal through here, and we've got Tiger NASCAR in P5, Cool Beans in P6, and they are looking. Delta picks up a 3-second time penalty. And Cornet is now behind Stein. So Lasser, with all the battling with the drivers behind, he's opened up a 2-second lead over Stein. Cornet is... It's only going to get bigger when these drivers have got 3 wide. Tiger's now taking advantage of... They're outside the Cornet. Cornet up the inside. Tiger has to back out and goes wide. And that gives Cool Beans an invitation to try and come up the inside, but doesn't make the most of it. DRS is open for all drivers, but that's not going to make any issue here because it is a bit of a DRS train. When they all have it, it doesn't really make, but Tiger NASCAR was looking to make a move, but thought better of it, and Cornet filters back in behind Stein. So Lasser is got a 2.2 second gap. Righty Boy and Willer switching positions here. Will up the inside around turn 2, and Will gets a massive tank slapper on there, just some about saves it from going into the wall and ending his race. And yeah, Will and Righty fighting hard through those corners. So a Mercedes and an Alpine at the midfield in P8, P9, and a Mercedes and an Alpine towards the front who were fighting hard earlier as well. So good, some good teammate battles between those two drivers. Dace is having a bit of an unfortunate race, currently down in P14. He was right at the back at one point, quite far behind, so he is managing to claw himself back up. Mr. Woot has overtaken his teammate in Delta. Delta currently down in P16, had a good start to the race again, but silly mistake, it cost him front wing. He had to come back in the pits. Viet not having a good race. Alpha had such a good start to the season, and they are now filtering back down. Exotic probably just hoping and praying for a safety car right now. He's on in a race of his own, and P18, last of the classified drivers. He is hoping and praying for a safety car, which at the minute, and Delta picks up another 3-second penalty. That's 6 for him. Mark of Kenya's got 10 seconds. Bacon's got 13. And look at that, Lasser has 5 seconds. Tiger NASCAR's going up the inside. They're going wheel to wheel, and Cornet's been spun out. So has Tiger. Cool Beans slips on through, and Stein keeps P3. Honesy still hasn't pitted. What's Honesy's strategy here? He's got 10 laps left. He's taking these softs deep into the race. Honesy will need to pit very soon. Takes a very wide line through there. Not sure what that was all about. What's going on at the back here? More pit stops. Red Dog comes out the pits. Dace gains up to P12. We've got a yellow flag. Who's that? It was a Red Bull. Yeah, Indian Jesus, who was backwards. So Bacon takes P12. Dace now up to P11, so he's looking to get a point scoring finish now. No time penalties. Tiger NASCAR after his little spin, with Cornet now down in P6, Cornet in P5, and Honesy has now been overtaken by Lasser. Lasser saying thank you, I believe. having a little wiggle. And Lasser pulls away. Is Honesy boxing? No, Honesy stays out. I believe Honesy might be doing some intra-team orders here, and he might be trying to hold up the Stein. At the minute, it's a Dutch 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Yeah, Dutch 1-2-3. Cool Beans is in P4. Tiger NASCAR in P5. Both Alpines running P6 and P7 respectively, but there is a gap of 12 seconds between them. And who's this at the front? Lasser and Honesy. Lasser's got a 1 second lead now. Once again, Exotic's going to have Delta Lima for company soon, so that's good for those two. Have someone to talk to and wave at as they drive next to each other. Red Dog overtakes Viet. Viet's at the pits. Mr. Woot in P12, who's got Impossible Bacon and Righty Boy just ahead of him. Righty Boy's been in the thick of some battles today. Let's jump back to the front 6 or so. What's the gap to the leader? What's Stein? Lasser's got a 3.2 second lead over Lasser. So Lasser will at the minute drop down to P6, P5. Lasser will drop down to P5 right now. P4, I apologise. He'll drop off the podium because Honesy hasn't pitted and Cornet's got the time penalty. So we'll see what comes of that. Is Honesy pitting yet? Honesy's staying out. Not sure what Honesy's doing right now. He has definitely not pitted, hasn't he? Yeah, Honesy hasn't pitted. Neither has Will. Will's going very deep into this race as well. He'll be on the softs at the end. He's staying out a little bit longer. He'll be using his softs at the end to try and get as far ahead as possible. Impossible and Righty. And wheel to wheel through the final corner. DRS is open for which driver? It's open for Impossible. Righty didn't get it, but the McLaren behind him, Mr. Woot, has. Mr. Woot's looking to make a move up the inside. Does he make it stick? Sends it a bit late. Righty Boy defends his position and keeps it, I believe. Mr. Woot did get a slightly better exit, but I don't think he's going to be even close enough to be far enough alongside to make it count through there. So Honesy's done 16 laps on his softs, so has Will, 16 laps on his mediums. And who was that going very wide? Jeddah, unfortunately, has gone into the wall at some point. If not damage, just a bit of a tap with the wall. Lost a lot of time. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. Not cosmetically anyway, but it might be a slightly yellow wing. For those of you who have used the game, know that it is a bit of a weird damage model. And is Honesy pitting? No, Honesy stays out. Another lap. So Honesy stays out. He's now on 17 lap old softs. I wonder what his plan is going to be doing. Righty is again fighting with Mr. Woot. Mr. Woot's looking to make a move up the inside. Is he going to make it count now? Will Ans finally pits onto the soft tyre. Mr. Woot gets past Righty into P9. Will coming out the pits just behind this little group of cars, where he will have the advantage of extra super duper soft tyres. Red Dog moves into P12. Let's get the interval times back up and see what the battles are like at the front of the grid. Cool Beans is looking to get back on the podium. It's very close to the back of Stein. What's the ERS situation like? Stein's got 40, Cool Beans has got 70, and he is dumping. They've both got DRS. Powering down to the final corner. Cool Beans is pretty much pushing Stein through there. It's going to be 3 wide into the corner, is it? Who got out of the way there? The Aston Martin of Honesy, I believe. I'm not really sure what Honesy's strategy is here. I don't think anybody knows. Cool Beans goes up the inside of Stein, gets the move done, and is Stein going to fight that back into the corner? He's not. Cool Beans has got P2 and at the minute, with penalties, the race win. Tiger moves up into P4. Cornet remains in P5. Holmesy's staying out on these soft tyres. Interesting. So, let's jump back in, let's have a look, a bit of an update. Holmesy's still not pitted. Cornet in 5, penalty situation at the front is 5 seconds to Lasser. What was that for? Let's have a quick check. Incidents. So what did Lasser get his 5 seconds for? He got it probably for speeding in the pit lane. Lasser. Where are you, Lasser? Speeding in the pit lane, yeah, so he might... No, he won't get that removed. So he is going to have to sit with that. We'll see what comes of it. Stein's very close again to the back of Coolbeans. Is he going to make a move into turn 1? Yes, he is. He's going to go up the inside. Gets ahead of him before the braking zone. And Stein takes the lead of the race now away from Coolbeans. And Tiger NASCAR in P4. Still, Cornet is still behind them, so that DRS train is not doing them very good. Mr. Woot coming back to the same drivers at the minute, all the battling on the track. These two are having an epic battle for P9 and P10 respectively. And Holmesy is finally pitted. He's got the medium tyres on. Whey! Comes out just ahead of Mark of Kenya and 19 seconds behind Cornet. He obviously didn't want to put those. He was enjoying his time too much on the soft tyres. Lost the race on the last lap last week with a battle with Stein, and they both came together and had a bit of an incident. So Dace is just behind Yerdy. Yerdy obviously has got some damage, or has some damage from somewhere, as he's now dropped down to P13. Dace is looking to make the move. Is he going to try and get ahead of him through the before we get to the S's? No, he's going to follow him through here. The dirty air is going to be absolutely unbelievable as we follow them through. It's right on board from Dace's POV. And who's that just ahead? That's Red Dog just ahead. And it looks like Yerdy's. Red Dog's made a mistake, so Red Dog gets ahead. He's going to fight back. Brakes a bit later than Yerdy. And they come with bang wheels a little bit. And Red Dog shifts down into P14. Dace is now... What's Dace going to do? Is Dace... Yeah, he's going to sit. Red Dog taps his rear wheel on the curve, on the wall. It hits another one. He's going to lose a lot of time, and he's going to lose another position, I believe, here. Dace might not just have enough. He's going to go up the inside. We've got a heavy braking left-hand corner here. Is Red Dog going to have enough to stay ahead? Yes, he does. He is clipping, which means with that red light flashing on the back, which means the ZRS is empty. And it is empty still. Yeah, he's got nothing left, less than 10, but even Dace hasn't got too much. DRS is open. Red Dog has DRS 2. Is there going to be a move? Dace switches. Red Dog tries to go up the inside, doesn't make it happen. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1 at the horseshoe. That is the battle at the front, I believe. There's a yellow flag. I'm not sure what happened there. Everyone seems to be running line astern still. And Dace goes round. Yerdy's dropped down to P14 now, so Red Dog and Yerdy might have had a bit of a coming together. Dace is in the middle of this this battling group, and yeah, they're all pushing each other through, having to brake harder than what they would normally do, as the dirty air and the battling and the driving with different drivers is just causing a few incidents. As Dace is going to try and go up the inside of Red Dog now and gets that move done. Dace is ahead. Gets up into P12. Now he's got a 10-second gap to try and haul on Will if he can get away from Red Dog. Stein and Coolbeans are fighting hard. Coolbeans has obviously got away. We've got a retirement. Indian Jesus has retired in the pits. Okay, so it's not on track, which means that we won't have a safety car. I think Coolbeans have got back ahead of Stein, and now Stein is back ahead of Coolbeans. So Lasser still has his 5-second time penalty hanging over his head. Stein and Coolbeans are, well, Stein's 3.8 Corbins is 4.5 behind respectively. Stein is still putting in personal best pretty much first sector time. He's only 5 thousandths off his best time. So he's still got a lot of pace in those tyres. Haven't seen much of Lasser since the overcut worked wonders for him, and he's driven off into the distance with the drivers behind fighting harder than they would have done. Viet picks up a 3 seconds, so he's now on 12. And Lasser's gap is 3.9 now, so he's having a great race. Just needs to open up the gap. He's got 3 more laps. We've got a yellow flag. Who's this? Viet has now retired. Viet has retired from the session, which moves Delta up to P15. Exotic is... why is Exotic so far behind Delta? Has he been lapped? Don't know. Yerdy and Red Dog fighting hard into the horseshoe. Yerdy on the outside, Red Dog on the inside. Yerdy's going to try the switchback. Doesn't get a better exit that he should have normally have hoped for. And following each other through these succession of corners and kinks. And they're powering down towards the end of the middle sector. Second sector's over and done with. And Yerdy's a second off his personal best time, so maybe the battling is taking a bit of the time out of his tyres, and tyre degradation as well. What other gaps have we got? We've still got Mr. Woot and Righty Boy close together. They've been close all race. What's the position changes? How's the... what are we looking at? Holmesy's gained 14, Marco Kenya's gained 12. So both drivers did the same thing last night in NRL. Doing the same again. Stein's gained 4. He had a good start. Lasser's poor start at the beginning from the second spot on the grid drops down to 5. He's gained all that back and 1 extra, and he's currently leading the race. But he's not opening this gap. It's to 4 seconds, but he still needs an extra second. So he's got to hope that Stein and Corbins have a bit more of a battle. Stein hasn't got as much ERS as Corbins, and Corbins is very, very close. Corbins is going around the outside. There's an excellent camera angle here as you see the black Mercedes of Corbins get ahead of Stein, and Tiger NASCAR is behind them as well, looking to take advantage of any issues that they do may become a cropper. And that is Stein going back up the inside of Corbins, and Stein retakes second place of the race, and the gap's come down to Lasser. It's 3.7 seconds now, so the DRS overtakes isn't losing them too much time. Holmesy's got an issue. What's happened to Holmesy here? He's dropping down to P9. What's happened to Holmes? Going very, very slowly. He's out of fuel. Holmesy is out of fuel. As I mentioned earlier that he was going to underfuel himself. He has underfueled himself. Don't purposely retire, mate. Don't send the safety car out on the last lap. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. He's out of fuel. He needs to retire. He's on the racing line. Not quite sure what he is doing right now. He's probably very annoyed at himself. The safety car hasn't come out as what he thought it would do. And yeah, so Holmesy, he's got his teammate coming up very close behind him, and he's ghosted, thankfully. Ghosted out of the way at the last minute. Right. Holmesy is out of fuel, and he's got a whole other lap to go. Is he going to get lapped before we go again? Corbins needs to just be a bit more tactful about where he's going to make this overtake. He's got to think. He's got more ERS, so he can fight a bit harder. Corbins is going to make a move. Tiger NASCAR's also, he's blocked off. Corbins was blocked off a little bit there from making the going up the inside of Stein, as Tiger NASCAR had already shifted himself out. And the gap that Lasser has is only 3.6 seconds, so that's not enough for him to win the race. He will drop down to at least 4th spot, and Stein will get the win of the race. Corbins will get P3. And Tiger will get his first podium right now, as long as it stays the same way. I believe. Leader, yeah, Tiger's just inside the podium spot by 4/10. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen on this last lap. Where is Holmesy? Holmesy's still going. Bless him. He's got Delta Lima coming up behind him. Get out of the way! Right, so let's keep the leader thing up so we know what's going to be, what the situation is of Lasser and the timing gaps. Cool Beans has got this corner. He's staying with Stein. What he's going to be doing is going to try and be clever. Stick with him and make the overtake on this DRS straight, as the next one is not going to be long enough. However, Tiger NASCAR is going to look to make the same one as well. Cool Beans gets P2. Stein gets P3. The straight's not going to be long enough. Lasser wins the race, but Cool Beans is going to take the win. Tiger NASCAR, oh, very close there. Lasser unfortunately drops to P2. Tiger with an awesome drive on his debut in P3. Stein P2. Cool Beans P1. What an absolute battle at the front. Cornet comes home in P5. Mark of Kenya in P6, I believe. Might drop down with penalties. Yeah, no, he should be alright. He's got a 4.5 second lead to Bacon. Mr. Wu and Righty Boy finally unglued each other, and they're going to come home in P8 and P9 respectively. Willans will get the final points paying position in P10. Dace will come home in P11 as he's coming down the pit straight now. Holmesy's still going. Oh, he was lapped in the end, so yeah, his race is over. He was, yeah. He underfueled himself expecting a safety car and didn't get one. I think everyone was at least half expecting one, but it didn't happen. So Delta, the last driver to cross the start-finish line. Here he comes. Put on a show. There he comes. Comes across the finish line for a respectable P14, I think it was, maybe P15. But that is SFR Season 5. Round 3 over and done with Jeddah. Another banging race. The top 5 were just fighting all the way through. Mark of Kenya gets the official Cody's driver of the day. Cool Beans gets the big W. Stein in P2. And NASCAR. Tiger NASCAR in P3 for a first ever SFR podium. Well done to him in the Haas. Sign of things to come. The times he may well reserve in the league. Unfortunate for Lasser, dominated the race, but a speeding penalty has thrown away that win. Let's have a quick rundown, and just so we can get the timings for while that's happening. We've got a comment. Ah, Mr. Fumpfkugel, nice. Hello. How are you doing? Right, let's quickly run through these, make sure we get all the timings of everything. All the penalties are there as well. There we go. And that. So, no one crashed out. We had 4 retirees, but they were all retirements in the pit lane. Holmesy and Exotic were lapped. Fastest lap doesn't go to Eric. Glitch in the matrix meant that he picked that up with rejoining the lobby, so we're going to have to go through and see who does get that fastest lap at a later date. Four pit stops for Jesus, Fiat, Exotic, 3 for Dace, 3 for Yerdy, 3 for Bacon, and the top 8 all doing a 2-stop along with Will, Red Dog, Holmesy, Eric and Henry doing a 3-stop, and they didn't even complete half the race. Any incidents? I think there was quite a few. We're always going to have quite a few at a track like this. Yeah, quite a few. Whoa, look at all these. There you go. And that's that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. We're going to be racing in... where are we going to be racing next week? I believe it's going to be Australia. We're returning back down under, and we're going to be going to Australia. Always like that track. It's always a good race. So we'll see you there next Sunday, same time, 7:15. And come back and enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, listening, subscribing, and see you next week.